Welcome to Being Humankind with your hosts Brian, Mike, and Neely. We explore what it means to be human in a time of disconnection.
Been the biggest change you've seen in yourself over the last 5 years?
I would say acceptance. You get to a point in time where you're no longer striving. Now, when you're young, you're in school, you strive to get grades. You go to college, you strive to get a degree. You get out, you strive to get a profession. You strive to get your family. You got all these things that go on. In the last 4 or 5 years, I think since you're no longer striving for things, you settle. You settle into a happiness, because happiness a lot is an acceptance of who you are, what you are, where you are, and what you have. And if you can accept those things, you're not striving for anything. You're not trying to achieve. You are in the mode of enjoyment. So there's a big change in your life as you get rearing towards retirement, which I'm 67 now. So you get to that nice, and I'm saying I shouldn't say you get to, because a lot of people never get there. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, in life. But if you go through your segments in life of every 10 years, and if you think about your life as always in increments of decades, you're a kid from 1 to 10, right? And where are you? Elementary school, right? And then between 10 and 20, you go through high school and college. Then 20 to 30, you're starting a career. By 30, yeah, you got a nice job. You probably got a family. Then when 40 hits, you start realizing you can't do what you did at 20 anymore. Your body's slowing down. And you start fighting that idea of, no, I can still do everything I did before and more. And then you get hurt and you get sore. And you do these things and it takes you a week to get over it. Now, when you get to 50, you start looking at the fact that, wow, retirement's coming up. Now you're starting to see even a greater slowdown in your physicality. But if you're running it right, you're starting to see an uplift on your emotional development, and sometimes I'll say even your intellectual development of understanding life. Then when you get in your 60s, it changes once again. And if you can embrace each 10 years and accept what your changes are in your body, in your life, in your mind, you will always be happy. It's those that fight it that continually are unhappy. So you get to a point where you're not striving anymore for anything, you're accepting and you're enjoying. And you get a nice balance in your life of happiness. And of course, as your children grow up and go on and they're successful, and you have grandchildren, that's another new joy in your life. So you're getting to that part. So that's where I'm at, that part of life in the last 4 or 5 years of that development of that. I don't want to use the end part of life, but the golden years of life where you can enjoy yourself and just relax, and you're not going nuts trying to compete for things all over the world. Instead, things just kind of fall away. Um, for instance, I did an architectural job with my son. He is now the president of Robinson Green and Barreto, one of the big firms around here, because we had a little firm together. And he had this theater called the Liberty Theater, and they needed it renovated. So he came to me and he said, Dad, would you do the major floor planning of it and stuff like that, lay it all out? And of course, it was all stripped to just 4 walls. So I rebuilt all the things with all the balconies and the mezzanines and everything else, and that, and the stages. We went through this whole thing. And about a year later, he come to me and he said, "Oh, I got some good news, Dad." And I said, "What's that?" He said, "Well, we won the Architectural Institute of America Award for design, He says, and we got the Historical Society Award, national. And I said, yeah. I go, that's for you, Jason. It's not for me. He says, but aren't you happy about it? I went, yeah, it's nice, but it doesn't mean anything to me. It means something to you to put for you in life now. It did, you know what I'm trying to say? It's not going to advance me anywhere. It's of no intrinsic value. It might be good to feel like, well, oh, gee, that's nice, you know, to get something like that. But you're all going to find that in life that at a certain point, all your awards and all the stuff you hang on the wall and all the accolades that you get go down into a place of your memory, a part of who you are in your heart and what your life was. But it's not the totality of your life at all. It's an interesting feeling when I look at this stuff and say, yeah, I did all that. It was pretty fun. And that's about where it lies. Now I'm having a different kind of fun in life. So that change from ambition to, I guess, a nice contemplative, more sedentary life is that 5 year period, that transformation. It has its bumps. There are times you still, at the early part of it, get those little spurts of, yeah, I want to go do something. And then you go, why? I'm happy. You know, travel, have a good time, love, enjoy the family, um, you know, and all the people that you meet and things just like this. This is the enjoyment now.